Good evening, Chair Carlton and members of the committee. My name is Vicki Courtney, and I represent the 18,000 licensed educators in Clark County. I want to thank Speaker Frierson for bringing this bill and giving hope for our educators and our students that we can make sure that success happens for them. This has been a long time coming for us and has been a bill that we have been driving since the session started, because we know that having resources for our students and having our educators know that they will be able to have dedicated funding means the world to them. I had the opportunity today to speak with 5 different educators. 3 of them were new teachers of the year, and 2 of them work at-risk schools. And I know as bright new educators, it comes with this glow and this excitement of being that educator, and they're so thrilled to be here. But the circumstances are hard. So having these kinds of assurances that there will be funding for their salaries and also funding for our students makes a world of difference. I also spoke to 2 other educators today who are longtime educators who both shared with me that they're not sure about staying because of the work that goes into teaching. The speaker talked about the number of students in people's classrooms, and you know, from 4th grade on up, those numbers are so high in so many classes that it takes so much extra time and time away from people's families that this, I think, will give them hope, because there's a step in the right direction that you care about this profession and the people who work here. But I also wanted to share one last story about an educator that I met with at the end of the day today, and she teaches in a rather nice neighborhood, and you know, it was just, her administrator said, well, after the years she's had, we had to do this for her. This is her first year. In the first month of teaching, she had 7 people killed in murder-suicides. You know, it just broke my heart that this is what educators and kids face in our school district. And it's, you know, I can't tell you how hard that was, and yet she is ready to come back and still teach. She has a good surrounding group of people to hold her together. But our profession has become more about holding kids' hands, families' hands, when there's no one else there for them. So the resources for our students are so important. And when we're begging just for the basic resources, let alone for those supports that help when other kinds of things happen, it's devastating. And as educators, when we can't count on our own paychecks being what they're supposed to be doing, providing for us and our families, and yet we reach into our own pockets on a daily basis for our students, I just think this goes a long way. And I think that I just want to commend the speaker for doing this, and I hope that this committee will take seriously how important this is for everyone. So thank you for hearing this and allowing us to be here at this late time.
Good evening, Madam Chair and committee members. For the record, my name is Jana Plegenkuhl. I'm a 27-year educator with the Clark County School District and proud CCEA member for those 27 years as well. I just wanted to say thank you to Speaker Frierson for bringing forward this essential and long-awaited bill. Everything that he said is so true, but so sad, and right on. I'm here in support of AB 309 at this late evening. We all know that education in Nevada is not appropriately funded. The state average is about $9,000, whereas the national average is $11,000. Clark County School District does not even receive $6,000 per pupil. This is unacceptable, and we all know it. But nothing has been done to change this. You all need to do what you can to fund our schools now. AB 309 will address funding by allowing for increased or new local revenue sources for our Clark County schools. We know that the Nevada plan is being worked on, but it will take years. Our children do not have years to wait. We need funding now. Please make sure that any revenue generated by this bill is additional funds and not supplanted. Again, the hope is that this bill will add more needed money to education. In addition, we are at a critical time to retain and recruit educators. Education is the one profession that has impact on all others. The shortage will only get worse if something is not done now. In Clark County, educators never know year to year if we will get our step or column increases. I do believe AB 309 will help set a dedicated funding source for educators' salaries that will not be part of the distributive account. Finally, we know that some categorical funding is working, but these funds are attached to certain schools and not the students themselves. So it is imperative that funding is based on student needs and goes where the child is. Additional funding does make a difference. So thank you for taking the time to take this bill very seriously and to fund our schools now.
Good evening, Madam Chair. My name is Adam Berger, and I am a member of CCEA. Good evening, members of the committee. As educators often say, educators' working conditions are students' learning conditions. It is not merely low pay that has reached a tipping point with educators. It is also large class sizes, obsolete textbooks, crumbling buildings, and the fact that many teachers already underpaid are shelling out thousands of dollars each year to pay for classroom supplies that their schools no longer provide. In short, educators are calling on the legislature to dedicate funding for all staff educators' salaries, additional dollars for the school districts, and a local revenue stream. Many teachers have to work 2 or 3 jobs like myself, sometimes even more, to feed their families, pay their mortgages, and make their car payments. Some move in with their parents. Some leave the state and look for work where they can make a living wage. Teacher shortages are growing, especially in hard-to-staff positions, teaching mathematics, science, and educating students with disabilities, which I do. Most certainly, educators agree that they could not continue to live on promises, praise, and low wages. Until now, we have been a world leader in science, medicine, technology, music, entertainment, the arts, sports, and higher education. We can thank our educators for that. Without the groundwork they provide, none of these achievements are possible. If we kill our future, it hurts everyone. Without well-supported professional educators, we are nowhere. To the speaker, thank you for bringing this bill forward, and thank you all very much.
Good evening, Madam Chairwoman, honorable members of the committee. My name is James Frazee, and I'm a classroom educator in Clark County. I'm also a proud CCEA member, and I have the pleasure and honor of serving on the CCEA Executive Board. I would first like to start by thanking Speaker Frierson for this bill, and with it, keeping his word and commitment to the students, parents, educators, support professionals, and community members of Clark County. You've worked closely with CCEA, and I know at times it has not been easy. AB 309 is a vital first step in restoring the integrity of the budgeting process for public education. By dedicating funding for educators' salaries and benefits, it ensures the dollars intended for salaries and benefits to attract and retain highly qualified and inspiring educators and support professionals are indeed delivered to educators and support professionals. AB 309 also delivers much-needed additional dollars to CCSD. These needed dollars will help provide safe and productive schools where our children have a chance to thrive. These additional dollars can be the difference between a successful district and another year of being ranked last in the nation for educational funding. AB 309 also starts the process for a local revenue stream. These dollars are desperately needed for pre-K to address high vacancy rates in at-risk schools and for adult education programs. Let me be very clear about the passage of this bill. Anyone who opposes this bill cannot be called a friend of public education. Educators, students, their families, and community members will be closely watching how you vote. It is for these reasons and so many more that I urge you to support AB 309. I thank the honorable members of this committee for allowing me to speak tonight.
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name's Jeremy Camp, and I'm a kindergarten teacher. I'm also a CCEA member, and I also serve on the Clark County Education Association's Executive Board. and I'm here tonight speaking in support of Speaker Frierson's bill, AB 309. 309 addresses critical shortfalls that I have experienced firsthand in my class and in my school. One of the issues critical to Clark is attracting and retaining qualified educators in high-need Tier 1 Title I schools, such as the one that I serve. We often see high teacher turnover, substitute teachers filling in long-term for high-needs positions, such as serving special education classrooms. Consistency in staffing these buildings with qualified licensed educators will bring positive outcomes for kids. Furthermore, my school has had to endure several budget cuts year over year, resulting in fewer resources for the kids in my class. AB 309 will provide additional dollars to the school district by reapportioning funds for categorical and grant programs. It's obvious that the main issue here is having enough money to do the right thing by the kids. The language in this bill addresses the critical need, and I would like to express my sincere thanks to the Speaker for crafting this bill that will serve the students and also provide relief to financially struggling educator and support professional families. Thank you for your time.
Good evening, Madam Chairman and members. My name is Tracy Leonard, and I'm a Army veteran, and I've been teaching for 20 years. What I want to talk about tonight is in support of AB 309. My experience is in Clark County, and I've had as many as 215 sixth graders from all over the world for 10 months at a time. I refer to that world as my heart. I have done this for 20 years. Many of our students are drowning in this current neglectful and illegal. Yes, we are doing a disservice to our citizens in Nevada, those citizens you care about. 20 to 25% of those 215 students likely have an individualized educational plan, or 504. No one can meet those expected independent goals. So yes, I'm expected to break the law and keep my mouth shut. One of my classes, I was supposed to have an instructional aide, another adult in the classroom. Actually, there were multiple classes on my campus that had gone without an additional adult in the classroom for the entire school year. I was supposed to have this instructional aid because there were recognized individual needs that I couldn't meet for our citizens, our students. No one would fill that vacant position. No one wants to be treated the way that they're treated and paid less than $10 an hour. When you have overcrowded classrooms, you have overcrowded schools, overcrowded campuses, and this is not safe. It's not fair to our kids, and no adult wants to go down there and experience it like the teachers do in the hallways, because then it would have to be addressed. But it's gone on for too long. It's dangerous, it's illegal, and it's unsafe. Please have compassion and care about our students in Nevada. You can do it now. And we're asking you, we're begging you to please care about us. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Diana Strictly. I'm a member of CCEA. I'm a science teacher specialist at Red Rock Elementary School, which is a Tier 1 Title I school. Our school experiences high turnover due to the high demands of the job. I go home every day exhausted, sometimes in tears, and then look at the pile of papers I have to grade and the lesson plans that I need to write or develop. Many of the lesson plans I have to write, and I'm developing curriculum because I don't have a curriculum. Teacher turnover is very high. We're losing 10 teachers from our school, and then we also lose support staff. And that creates a lack of stability for the students who need it most. They can't count on the teachers that they will see from year to year, and they feel abandoned by the teachers. And these are students who often feel abandoned by their families. Addressing that also, I heard that this bill needs to focus more on education and teeth in education, but I'll tell you what, students cannot learn if their basic needs are not met, and they cannot learn if they are not in school. Today we had a training at our school about trauma and how trauma affects students, and what an ideal day to have it, because we had a student out in the hallway, and I'm trying to teach and maintain an educational environment while listening to a student screaming with despair in their voice, the kind of screaming that makes a mother cry. And this is why it is hard. It is so hard to stay at a school where we don't just face teaching, reading, and writing and arithmetic. We are also trying to teach these children that there is hope in this world. And how do we do that when we don't have hope for ourselves? When I don't have stability, when I cannot buy a home and set down real roots in my community, because a pay freeze is a pay cut, because the increases in our health care, especially when we have dependents, is already eaten up in our steps. And then the PERS deduction increases. So the paychecks aren't just freezing, they are going down. And this is on top of the fact that I go out and spend money to develop professionally to better meet the needs of the students in a high-need environment. So I got an ELL endorsement. But this investment in continuing my education to further meet the needs of my students is not met with compensation or respect for the job that I do. So we need programs that will meet our students' needs, that will make them feel safe and secure, but we also need to show them that education matters. And how do we show them that education matters if we don't pay our professional educators like professionals and treat them as professionals? I walked away from teaching at one point to seek a job that would pay more. I came back because money wasn't enough. But that doesn't mean I can live without money. The economy didn't crash yesterday. And every time I listen to the news, I hear about how the economy is booming while I am selling my condo to pay my debts, and I am renting a home from my daughter, who earns way more money as a college graduate than I do. But I have 3 degrees and she has 1. So please consider that. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Erica Jackson. I am a CCEA member, and I have completed all 21 years of my teaching career here in Clark County School District, where I have watched a slow decline in funding. I want to thank Chair Carlton and the members of the committee for hosting an evening edition to hear this bill. I especially want to thank Assemblyman Frierson and any others that had a hand in this great bill going forward. This bill gives hope for me to be successful. I don't talk much about this stress. I try to put on a smile and do what I do. I teach students that have healthy home lives, but I also teach students whose parents are in prison because that individual killed the other child's parent. We teach students that are homeless, quite a few of them, in fact. We teach students that have a wide range of emotional issues. We need smaller classes to solve these social emotional issues on a more personal level. We have students that fail tests due to test anxiety. Smaller class sizes would allow teachers to provide more tailored instruction to teach and build student confidence in their learning and reduce anxiety. Teachers deserve an equitable salary. With all the time they spend prepping for the class or classes outside of their contract, they should not have to work additional jobs to meet their basic needs for themselves or their families. Teachers that do more to work towards column advancement deserve a guarantee that they will receive what they work hard to achieve to improve their pedagogy and improve their personal financial situation. I have served as our school's SOT chair. I look forward to being able to plan a budget with our SOT for next year, a budget that has true hope to improve student education at my school. Thank you so much for this bill introduction and your time to hear my thoughts. And it is my hope that you guys will pass this bill. Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Chairwoman and members of the committee. I want to start by saying thank you to Assembly Speaker Frierson for introducing Assembly Bill 309, and thank you to the committee for allowing me to speak in support of Assembly Bill 309. For the record, my name is Kristen Nigro, and I am a sixth-year teacher in the Clark County School District. I teach kindergarten, the wonderful little ones. I truly believe that AB 309 is the key to success for education in Nevada. Having dedicated funding in place for educators' salaries will prove that we are striving to attract and retain highly qualified teachers. By providing additional dollars to the school district by reappropriating funds for categorical and grant programs will show the commitment your leadership is making to the youth of Nevada. Assembly Bill 309 will have a great impact on educators and students. Our students deserve a high-quality education that will prepare them for the highly competitive workforce that is ahead of them. This is only going to happen by funding our schools appropriately and by providing our students a highly qualified teacher. So having this bill come into fruition will give our students that opportunity, and it will help us grow our students into the amazing leaders that they will be. Thank you so much.
Good evening, Chairwoman Carlton and the Ways and Means Committee. My name is Paul Kleeman, and I am a guitar teacher at Del Sol Academy of the Performing Arts. I'm here tonight speaking in favor of AB 309. My wife and I, as well as her mother and her sister, were all employees of the Clark County School District. 3 years ago, my wife's sister, who's a school psychologist and an educator, left the Clark County School District to seek employment in San Francisco Unified, mostly because the caseload of school psychologists in the Clark County School District is really, really large. She was spread across 3 different schools. When she moved to San Francisco, her caseload was cut in half. I want to thank Speaker Frierson for introducing this bill, because it's a great start getting much needed resources into the Clark County School District, as well as Nevada, as well as retaining and recruiting highly qualified educators. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Carlton. Theo Small, Vice President of Clark County Education Association. Appreciate you letting us speak this evening. Also want to start out by thanking the Speaker Frierson for listening to educators, listening to the community, and listening to teachers on the needs to improve our work in our classrooms. I want to start out by actually quoting Speaker Frierson that educators need certainty, stability, and faith in the system. Assembly Bill 309 does that. It gives us the ability to have those conversations with folks who are in our district and outside of our district. And a reminder that to our district and to also lawmakers, that your current employees are the best public relations ambassadors for addressing a lot of these issues. So when conversations around stability can happen, then it's actually a positive thing for the children and educators in the community of Nevada. Vacancies in our classrooms, we appreciate the effort of looking at money and attracting folks through money. We are doing that currently in 8 middle schools in a pilot project in Clark County, but it also means leadership, and so conversations with the district should be around positive leadership and making sure schools are great places to work. So once again, we'd like to thank this committee for listening to teachers, educators, and the community, and we appreciate your support.
Hi, thank you for hearing me tonight. My name is Robert Holloway. I'm a teacher in the Clark County School District. I'm the treasurer of the Clark County Education Association. My wife is a teacher, my father was a teacher, and my kids both go to the public schools in Clark County now. My mother was also an education support professional, so we are an education family. I'm also a lifelong Nevadan. I'll tell you, over my 19 years of teaching in the Clark County School District, I have witnessed the teacher shortage go from something where we were a little short when I first started in the year 2000 in a school that had high needs at the time. I've since, like a lot of other senior staff at the school district now, moved to a school in a nicer neighborhood, but I've observed something kind of unsettling where the teacher shortage is concerned. It used to be that new teachers started out at a high-needs school, and a school like mine always had the district's most senior staff. And what I've seen now is my school is now getting brand new teachers, while the school I started at is now having throngs and throngs of subs with very little support from any experienced teachers to guide the way, or if there are experienced teachers in those places, they are drowning in trying to support all these people who do not have a background in education. So I think AB 309 is critically important to assist us in attracting qualified people to, all schools really, not just the ones that are identified as high needs now, but to schools like mine, which you would never think was high needs, but slowly but surely, I am seeing what I saw at my original starting place in that high needs environment, creeping into an environment that should not ever seem like high needs on its face. And I just want to say I appreciate Assemblyman Frierson, who I vote for. He is my assemblyman, for bringing this bill forward tonight. Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Kenny Belknap. I am a CCSD educator. I teach at Del Sol Academy of the Performing Arts, and I am a board member of the Clark County Education Association. First, I want to say I'm speaking today in strong favor for AB 309. I strongly support this bill, and I want to thank Speaker Frierson for all his hard work on this, because it creates a huge relief and a peace of mind if it is passed for us educators all over the state of Nevada, not just here in Clark County. It's no secret here in Clark County we have a teacher shortage. I think right now we sit at 500 vacancies, and I see this every single day when I walk the halls of my high school. I've taught for 6 years at my school, haven't left, same room, but every single room around me has changed, and every single room around me has had a long-term sub for a year. Those students that had that class that year don't get a second chance at that class. And by not being able to retain and recruit highly qualified teachers that can manage the workload that comes with educating students, which is an incredibly difficult job, we are doing them a disservice. The biggest thing is retaining teachers. We do not incentivize teachers to stay in this district. I mean, there's a big, there's some retention, but it's only because of a strong identity to the job. Through 6 years as an educator, I've been given a pay raise once. And that's something that's very common with educators that have taught twice as long as I have. With us trying to compete with other districts across just the West Coast, there's approximately 18,000 teacher vacancies across the West Coast. How can we get the greatest teachers that are moving out to the West to come to Clark County or to come to the state of Nevada to educate our students if we're not incentivizing teachers, which this bill will do to help recruit these highly qualified teachers and to keep them in the classrooms once they're here? Because right now we're just letting them come for a year maybe, and then we lose them because they realize the working conditions are too tough. You're not going to get a pay raise. Your health care is you're going to lose funding on that, and it's not a good system to help kids. Plus, with the local revenue streams, that's going to be huge to be able to help better service our kids with services that we can't provide currently with our funding formula. So thank you for your time, and please, I can't express how much I support for AB 309.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Monica Bryan. I am a school counselor, National Board Certified Educator, as well as a member of CCEA, the Executive Board, and I am here in support of AB 309. First, I would like to thank Ms. Frierson for putting this bill through for us, for drafting it. I want to make sure that we include in this, not that we include in this bill, that we keep in mind when we're talking about teacher shortages and things, that there's also a shortage of other licensed professionals. There are school buildings that do not have school counselors. Our school psychologists are overworked, our school nurses are overworked, et cetera, et cetera. And so I think that this bill is also enticing to those of us who are other licensed professionals, because as much as we need teacher retention and we need teacher recruitment, we need retention and recruitment recruitment of our other licensed professionals as well. And I think that this is a great start moving forward in order for us to also retain and recruit our other licensed professionals, because as we know, the trauma that some of my colleagues have talked about is on the rise in our schools, and we need to make sure that we have enough of our other licensed professionals who can handle those situations when they come up in our school buildings. So again, I am here in support of AB 309, and I thank you all for hearing us today.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair and the committee. My name is Dan Price. I'm a career and technical education teacher. I'm also a proud member of CCEA and serve on its executive board. I also teach at a Title I, Tier 1 high school. Just to talk, this bill is very important because at my school this year, we have 7 permanent subs teaching, and out of those 7 classrooms, 4 of them have rotated through 4 teachers during the year, which does not serve our students well at all. We also have 9 teachers who are leaving the district at the end of this school year because they were fed up with the pay, the disrespect, and that they were just unhappy because every year it's a fight for money. Their pay has been frozen multiple times, and they feel that it's time to move on. And that's sad because most of them are excellent educators, and I hate to see them go. So I want to speak extremely that we need to pass this bill. I think it will help us tremendously to keep teachers in the classroom, and that, especially with the permanent sub situation, this isn't good for students at all. So thank you for your time.
My name is Carl Bird. I'm a teacher in the Clark County School District, a member of CCEA Executive Board. Very proud to be here this evening. As I stated earlier, a month ago we were just in Carson City. We had the express pleasure of meeting with Tyrone Thompson. He gave us, I would say, some great quality time in which we discussed a lot of the education issues. He definitely gave us a lot of hope. He asked a lot of questions. I think tonight he would be very pleased. It is amazing to be on the right side of history. So many groups have spoken this evening. At times past, we have been in opposition to each other. Lincoln once said, when the Civil War had ended, about binding up the wounds, charity for all, and malice towards none. I see that. We have been battling for years on the issue of education. It's time to heal the wounds. It's time to come together. It's time to make the job of education everybody's job in Nevada. Senator Frierson, I am so pleased that you had the courage to take this on. I hope that the rest of the committee does the same. I hope that in terms of, I'm getting my thoughts together, in terms of opposition, I pray that there is none. This is our moment. Let's all make things great for our students and our educators. Thank you very much.
My name is Erin Riddle, and I'm a member of the CCEA Executive Board. I want to go ahead and go on with what Carl said. Assemblyman Thompson made lots of time for us when we were in Carson City. We are very appreciative of the time he made. He would be very happy we're here tonight. I am in support of Bill 309 from Assemblyman Frierson. It is very important that we have a dedicated funding and help us retain teachers and recruit better teachers for the future of our children and our students. Thank you very much for your time tonight.
Good evening, Chair. My name is Elizabeth Campbell. I'm a teacher in Clark County School District, Spanish teacher. I'm also the Director for National Board Certification Programs for CCEA and a National Board Certified Teacher. And I'm going to be brief. I would love to thank Speaker Frierson for bringing AB 309, which is going to allow our public education system in Nevada to begin to find equitable solutions, not just for our students, but also for the educators and staff that serve them. So thank you, Speaker Frierson, because really, I think that AB 309 will allow us to start that work and the conversations to correct some of the critical challenges that we face in our districts, particularly in Clark County. And I think that all of us can agree that at the end of the day, what we want is the best environment and the best outcomes for the children of Nevada. So thank you so much, Speaker Frierson and Chairwoman.